Hi everyone, why don't we talk a little? I know I promised a series on narcissism, and I really haven't been keeping my promises because it's been a while. But today, let's continue that series. I thought we should talk about how to identify a narcissist in the workplace. Now, remember, narcissism is not something easy to diagnose. When we say narcissism, we really mean narcissistic personality disorder, and that's not, the personality disorders are not easy to diagnose. You really do need to be trained in them specifically to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is go through with you four easy, practical ways that you can identify if someone is a narcissist in your workspace. Now, remember, that is not an official diagnosis. I just want you to probably take note if you've been wondering. Maybe you can say, okay, this person probably is a narcissist. You clearly can't say that outright. But here are four ways. So the first one, of course, and this is going to be, pretty common sense, is that they always want to be the center of attention. What may not be so easy to identify is how they do it. So that's what I'm going to go through with you. So let's say they're in a meeting, they are going to try to be the center of attention. And this could come in a variety of ways. It's not just going to be, they're not going to come in the meeting and be very loud or be disruptive. They may do that, but usually it's more sophisticated than that. Usually they will try to change the subject of the meeting, try to undermine the person who is running the meeting, stuff like that. Now, if the person who's running the meeting happens to also be the boss, then we're going to get into that part of it, but usually that's likely that they're going to try to disrupt that meeting, because remember, the narcissist wants to be the boss. They cannot stand anyone set over them per se, so that's going to be a problem. But I'm going to get into details about how to look at that. So in the meeting, they may be disruptive, or they may be very quiet, and this is why it's a little hard to identify these people if you don't know what you're doing. So they could be very quiet, but really it's like they're trying to say, this meeting is not important, I don't need to be here, why are we even having this meeting? And that's one way of being disruptive, right? And so they will do that. So another way in the meeting space is that they will try to discredit the person who is in charge. And so they will probably try to make excuses for any problems that the boss may be outlining. And you see, that's why you're not going to think they're a narcissist, because you're going to say, oh look, they're standing up for the rest of their colleagues, about what can't work and what should work. But what they're really doing, see, the focus is not the colleagues, the focus is the boss, because remember, they cannot stand not being the ones that are in charge. And so by sort of creating this group that's against the boss, that's how they get their way of trying to show that they disapprove, that they don't believe that the person should be in charge, and essentially that's how they try to get to be ahead. So they're likely to, before the meeting, try to tell everyone how the boss is this, the boss is that, or a person's running the meeting, they're not nice, they're horrible, they have certain problems, and it's so difficult to work along with them. They will set that all up before the meeting, and in many cases they'll do it afterward too. Afterward, this is the person who goes around saying, oh, what did you think of what the boss said in the meeting? You think that makes sense? You think they should do that? So that's how they function, right? And that's why I say to you, it's pretty subtle how it's done. And you may assume that, no, but that person can't be the narcissist. That person is so nice, always trying to look out for everyone. Not really. Not really. Because remember, you're not the target. The target is the person in charge, the person who's the boss, or the person who the narcissist feels has been set above them for whatever reason. All right? The colleague can become the target at work if the colleague does better, or just seem like could possibly be doing better. And what you'll notice is that the narcissist will zero in on that colleague. So the narcissist is going to try to get close to that colleague, to befriend that colleague, and to do everything to make it seem like, what? I'm not jealous of that person. I like that person. I stand up for that person. And so this is the kind of thing that you have to look out for, because like I said, it's pretty difficult to see. All right, but once you get the knack of it, you'll be able to identify them. All right, so that's pretty much what they'll do, you know, just interacting generally. Like I said, you know, they'll try to be the center of attention in a meeting, and they'll try to undermine the focus of the person, and they'll try to undermine the person who is leading the meeting. Now the next thing is that they will try to, in general, undermine their supervisors, their bosses, whoever. And this can be a little complicated to assess also, because what they'll do, they're not able to succeed in undermining the boss. They will try to be the boss's friend. So they want to be sort of the situation of a teacher's pet, but in this case, you know, the boss's pet. They will try to do that. Now, in doing that, for them, it means that they're special and that they're pretty much set apart from everybody else, right? If they're not able to take over from the boss, you're going to try to make sure that they are the favorites, and they want all of you to know that, listen, I am the favorite, I am the best one. And they'll do this in a variety of ways, telling lies, you know, that's a big deal for them, or a big strategy for them, creating issues, and many times playing the victim so that they can somehow be seen as the boss's favorite. Now, if the boss does not play that game, then the boss is heated, and this is where they try to plan little things and little rumors and create issues along with the rest of the staff that typically is meant to set up the staff against that boss. All right, so next thing is that they will overemphasize their value to the company. So they will repeatedly talk about, you know, I am this, I do this, I am always the one who's doing this, I'm the one who brought this here, I'm the one who, stuff like that. One sure way you can probably tell if they are not identified as employee of the year or the month, they can get very, very upset, and they can sort of grieve that for a very long time. All right, so that's another way. All right, so the final way, I'm gonna, because you know I don't want the videos to be too long, is that they will create problems if something is taking place in the workplace and they're not the center of it. So if you are planning a trip, maybe among work colleagues, a staff party or something of the sort, if there's a new initiative, a new project, if they are not the center of all of this, then they are going to totally try to create a serious problem for that. They have to be the ones you call on as the boss. If you're going to initiate a new project, they have to be the ones to head that project. And if that's not the case, they're going to have a problem. They're going to destroy that whole thing. So that is something to look out for. Like I said, you know, it's pretty difficult, but these tips can go a far way in helping you to see if you're working with a narcissist. And if you are, I empathize with you quite a bit. Maybe in the next video I'll talk about some ways that you can help to manage that, to cope. But for this one, I just wanted you to know how to identify them. All right. Remember, don't be nice. Be good.